Alright everyone, welcome to another RFC Reviews. I'm your host iCast, and today we have Power of the Primes Autobot Jazz Deluxe class. Of course, this is Wave 1 of the new series, the third of the trilogy, the Power of the Primes. And let's go ahead and take a little bit deeper look at the packaging. Before we do that, I will mention that the reason I'm doing Jazz first is we had a poll on Twitter, if you follow me, at diecast2, where people could vote on the first figure that they wanted to see me review out of the Deluxe Power of the Prime figures. And for some reason, people picked Jazz. I don't know. We're finally getting Dinobots. They're going to combine. No one wanted to see Dinobots. They want to see Jazz. So let's go ahead, take a quick look at the packaging. Alright, and we're back. Sorry about that. My printer started going crazy for no reason. No one was printing to it. Just decided it wanted to, make noise and turn on and all that weird stuff. So, as you can see, the Power of the Primes packaging is very, very similar to what we got with Titan's Return. You can see same black Transformers Generations up the side. You finally get rid of the decapitation head artwork, and now you just have some nice regular artwork back here. In the packaging, you can see the Power of the Primes, the 13 Primes. There's like a wheel back there, and it gives you all these symbols for the different Prime Masters, I guess is what they're going to be calling those. And then on the back, you get a look at some of the Prime Masters, Micronus, Vector Prime, and Liege Maximo. So just take a look, and then you get your product shots. And apparently this thing can go on the chest. I haven't really figured out how to do it with this character. Actually, I see how to do it now. I'll show that off in the video. But yeah, there you go. That's the packaging. Again, side, you get some side artwork here. And that is Lita 1, I think. Is she going to be the Starscream repaint? I think that's what everyone was saying. So you get a picture of her on the side here. Nothing on this side. You do get some embossed symbols of those Power of the Primes symbols, which is kind of neat. Just noticed that now. Good thing I took a look at this. And then, yeah, that is it for the packaging. Here is the bio up top here if you want to read it. And we'll get Titan's Return Breakaway out of the way, who never came out of the package. Like a lot of my figures, don't have a lot of time, so never come out of the package. And we'll get a little focus in on their Jazz. And before we take a look at Jazz, we'll take a quick look at the collector's card. There you have Jazz with that same artwork that's on the front, minus the circle of Prime symbols. And then on the back, I'm not sure, is that the best Prime Master to go with him? I don't know. Don't know. But there you have his bio and a little Hasbro logo. And again, that same symbol that's up top here. So I guess that's his. That would be the best Prime Master for him. And we'll do a quick size comparison. I do have Cup right here for size comparison. I think they look pretty good together. I should probably put him next to a Combiner Wars figure and not really a Titan's Return figure, but that's who most closely he would go with. And let's go ahead and take a quick look at Jazz. Really nice head sculpt. It's a nice translucent with some blue paint in there, it looks like, or some blue translucent plastic in there. For the headlights, nice Autobot symbol on the front. You get some detail down here. Kind of hides that combiner port, which is pretty cool. You get a black waist. You get ball joints at the hips. You can go forward all the way. You just can't go back totally just because of the backpack. You do get a 90-degree bend at the knee. And then you do get a little toe articulation up just due to transformation. And the toes just click down in place, as you can hear. Little clicky clicky. And then his arms are on a ball joint, so you can get a little bit more than 90 degrees up. These arms do have an outward hinge, so they can go all the way like that, which is kind of cool. Full 360, of course. And then, in a very odd choice, his hands are on a mushroom peg, so they should have rotation. And you can get a little bit of movement, but not enough that it should even be there. I don't understand some figures we don't get wrist rotation at all, and we can't understand why. Like Cup here, no, you know, they could have put it in, but they didn't. And now Jazz has it, but can't utilize it. So that's a very strange decision in my book. And he just does feel like the legs have a little bit of play in here. I wish they would have locked in a little bit more, because they can kind of jiggle around a little bit. And I must say, this figure was going to be a nightmare to use, because if they didn't get the tolerances right, and you can see these hinges could be a little bit tighter, but this piece is kind of heavy, so if you get that out, I mean, he will hold his arms up. But if they did not get the tolerances right on this figure, he would be an absolute mess. Because there's a lot of neat hinges on this guy. Just take a look at the back here, and you can see there's a lot of clear plastic on this also, which scares people. But I haven't had any problems, and paint's been good on it for the most part. And then, like I said, if you do want to plug this in, I think the way to do this is you just flip these pieces around on his arm. We'll take this clear piece out for now, and then you can see, flip this peg up, and then there's a spot right there in the grill which looks like will line up with these. No, they don't. Yeah, I'm not really sure how this piece is supposed to peg on the front, but from the other characters, I mean, it's kind of dumb anyway, so we don't need to do it. But there is some way to do it. And then if you want, since we don't have any Prime Master pieces, you can take regular heads and just pop them in if you want to. So there you have Cup in the little handpiece slash, I think this is also going to be an extension for the heel on the feet, but there you go. He has two thumbs, so I guess if you want, you can just pop one off at the ball joint. There goes Cup, or whatever. I'm not exactly sure. I guess you can give him two thumbs. I mean, they're robots; they could have two thumbs. You know, the fingers are all the same length. I mean, they're not human, so it doesn't matter. Give them two thumbs. They're probably 2 times more better at grabbing stuff than we are. So, robots that don't drop stuff because they have 2 thumbs. So, anyway, this piece can just obviously plug back in here if you want. And yeah, there is some way to peg this on the front of him. I don't know how. I don't care. Hopefully you don't care, because if you do, I apologize that I don't care enough to look it up. But let's go ahead and check out the rest of the articulation on this figure. He does have a waist joint, which is cool. And then also on his head is on a ball joint, so you can get down about that much. Up, not really at all, just due to the sculpt that's actually looking forward. He can't get any up, but you can go full 360, which we will need to do for transformation. And let's go ahead, let's get into that, because that's why you're here, probably. first thing you want to do on this guy, we'll just take his gun off. And then come down here to the feet, flip the feet in. Then the legs, they open up very Combiner Wars style. But they open up from the inside. And then you can just collapse that up. Close that up. We can get the backpack out of the way just by bringing that up. Leave that up for now. Same thing on this leg. Just get this all opened up. Just like that. And collapse the leg. Collapse. Close it up. Now you can tab all this back half of the card together. Just like that. Line that all up. And then next thing we're going to do is this is the interesting part, which, you know, no Combiner Wars figure had this kind of hinge system in here where everything just breaks away. And while you do that, you want to flip in the head. We'll rotate this around, his head around in there. And then this panel, you just want to bring up through the center, extend this out, and push that down. And then there's two tabs right up here that these pieces will clip into. And the one side on mine is really tight, always kind of gives you that clicking noise. And then you collapse this up, and you see two tabs right there. They'll slide into the back of the legs. And then all you have to do is bring the arms around, and they will flip in. They will tab in. There's a slot right there with a tab. Same thing on this side. Slot it in, tab it in, squeeze this all together. Make sure those tabs are down right there. And I do have a little red scuff on there, but I don't know what that's from. But there you go. There you have Jazz. There you have Jazz in his robot mode, or his vehicle mode, and he rolls fairly well. I mean, it's not great just because they're not doing the pegs anymore. These plastic wheels just kind of clip on, which means they're not as smooth rolling, but it can still roll. There's nothing hindering the rolling on the bottom. And then you do have a gun where you can plug it into these three ports right there. And you also have 4 Titan Master ports, which is kind of cool. So you can go ahead and peg on your Titan Masters onto the car anywhere you want to, if you want to. So they can just be rolling with Jazz. Just doing the roll. And then this piece, you can flip this down and this can plug right onto the top there if you want. Just like that. And then you can even plug the gun in one of those thumb slots if you want. Lots of options. Yay. And then we'll just rotate that around. It's hard to do a deluxe figure. It's just, I don't know. I like doing the third-party figures a lot more. But honestly, a lot of people want to see these too. So I have to keep reminding myself to do these. But yeah, there you have Jazz. He is in wave 1 of the deluxes of Power of the Primes. And thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.